Boo, let's
The
see if we light 'em up. The field that already know.
pre-show. The pre-show.
That's right, we're in the pre-show, everyone.
Where's YouTube?
I was doing okay there for a second there, and then Grit came in. No, I don't want to add tweets in other languages. I want to retweet the one that just got sent. Come on.
We're live.
Come on.
I'm the first like on the video.
Oh, nice. What's wrong with that? Three.
And for those of you out there, like our videos. That helps a lot.
It does.
Unless you don't like the video. If you don't like the video, then don't like it. I mean, that's just.
You can actually dislike the video, and it still helps. Just saying.
No, don't say that, because
Saying.
then they won't even dislike it.
Sure.
Do what you want, people.
All right, I have retweeted.
Oh, somebody else liked the video.
I have retweeted
We're
the
off
tweet.
to a great start.
We are good to go.
Thank
we
you,
are
second liker.
Andrewless, of course, tonight because he is sick. I said, of course, like they would have any way of knowing that.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, Andrew is unfortunately sick, so he will not be joining us tonight. Myself and Patrick.
Twitch, why do you always do this?
But that's okay. We're going to continue forward. We still have a podcast to run. I guess I should do the hello and welcome, huh?
Well, okay. Sometimes, like on Twitch, it'll like whenever you go live, it'll like show the video for like a minute, and then it'll stop, and then it'll like start streaming again.
Really weird.
Because it's just now letting me open it.
That's probably Restream being weird.
Oh, gotcha.
Guess.
Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Full Spectrum Podcast. My name is Trey.
And I'm Patrick.
And, we're excited to have a podcast this week. My voice is going to be a little bit weak, and there may be some times where I have to mute. Thanks to Patrick, I have now an option for muting quickly in the form of the Stream Deck because I did have an asthma attack. Okay. We're going to... Johnny Joestar musical reference. What? A lot of Johnny's. There's a lot of musical references. Johnny and Gyro, Tusk, a lot of them. But yeah, like I said, Andrew is sick tonight, so he won't be with us. Hopefully he has rested up enough, and because he was sleeping earlier, and hopefully he'll get to sit back and relax a little bit tonight.
Hope so.
That is my sincerest hope for him. Which you'll have to see. Trying to get the discussing to work with me because reasons. There we go. So Patrick, with that in mind, what's your week been like, buddy?
Well, this weekend my girlfriend and I officially have been together for 3 years.
Congrats, buddy.
Thank you. So we celebrated, and we went to one of the bigger cities near our town that we live in. Had a cool little weekend. Ate some really nice food and stuff like that. Then I finished the Modern Warfare campaign.
Okay.
And it's amazing. It's worth the money, in my opinion. Now, granted, it's only 6 hours worth of content, roughly.
Chat not popping up on screen.
Because why would it, Trey? Why would it? This is not a podcast without technical difficulties, and you know this.
I don't understand why sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
You know this. Hello, King. Hello, Artaka. I'm gonna vamp for a little bit while he.
You can keep talking about the Modern Warfare campaign. I'm still listening. I'm
okay.
Working on this now.
So the campaign's roughly like 6 hours or so, but it's really good. I feel like the campaign is arguably the best Call of Duty campaign that I've ever played. And I know that a lot of people agree with that.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. Um, it's very interesting to say the least. It's really really good. I like the way that they like the story that they wrote, and I can't wait for the next game. I'm very much excited for it. So Black Friday is coming up. That might be a really good time to pick it up, even if all you want to do is play the campaign.
Yeah.
I think the multiplayer gameplay is really good. I do know there's one map that a lot of people hate, and I still don't like it, but I don't hate it. Um, but it's really good. I'm still playing MLB The Show 19. That game has me hooked. I have not touched NBA 2K in almost 2 months.
Yeah.
Um, which is not normal for me, but that game sucks this year. So I'm kind of just like frustrated in the fact that I really want to play 2K, but I don't want to play the older one because it's not that good.
Yeah.
And I don't want to play this one because it's not good. So I'm kind of just like frustrated. Um, I haven't really done a whole lot else. I did download this game that's in early access
Yeah.
on my phone. Um,
Which side is working?
Twitch side is working. Um, it's kind of a little. It's not like a super like content heavy game. It's kind of just like a really chill idle game. It's called Startup Inc.
Yeah.
And basically you have this little startup company and you try to make money, by doing advertising and stuff. So I
Yeah.
made the full spectrum, and we've got a bunch of employees here working. Some of them are sleeping. I don't know what that is. I don't want to know. Some of them are sleeping, but I have a supervisor that keeps them awake.
Yeah.
And right now we're making roughly $230,000 an hour. So I think
Wow.
that we're doing pretty well.
What's the supervisor's name?
Um, he doesn't have a name yet.
That's
Oh,
unfortunate.
I could give him a name, but it wouldn't be like in game.
Oh, I
It would
see.
just be what I call him.
I got you.
So I might call him Jonathan or something. I don't
Okay.
know.
Sure.
Maybe Ricky.
Yeah.
Ricky
Sure.
the supervisor.
Why not?
I don't know.
Alright,
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
try this and see if it
I,
works. I have no idea.
well,
Well,
I could name him after one of our moderators.
it's true. You could.
Um, but it's kind of fun if you have like nothing to do and you're really bored and you want to just like literally waste some of your time. Great game. You should check it out. Startup Inc. Um, other than that, I haven't really done anything else this week. Um, Still busy working and trying to get through school.
Yeah.
But
Let's see this work.
if we were actually making that kind of money, I wouldn't be working a real, like a quote unquote real job anymore. I
Yeah.
would
No.
be full
For
time making
sure.
videos too.
For sure. And this.
Could you imagine if we put in 6 to 8 hours worth of making videos every day?
I could imagine because that's what I do already.
No, I'm saying if all three of us.
Yeah, that'd be great if it wasn't
If
just me.
I know, I wish I could.
Yeah, that'd be great. Hold on. I think that works. It's not great. It's a different color. I don't know why YouTube side wasn't working on the other one, but at least it's working now. Every single week, man, I have to spend the first 15 minutes of the podcast fixing chat. And what it comes down to is I just alternate between Restream chat, Chatbot chat, and Streamlabs chat, basically. And just alternate between the three and see which one's working today. Oh, man.
Maybe one of these days enough people will be using our Patreon that we can pay somebody to have the stream up and ready and like test everything,
That would be
and
great.
then we'll just be able to be like, ha ha ha, walk up, sit down, and just start going.
That would be great. Let me make sure it's working on the Twitch side. quick. Also, you can't erase part 6. Part 6 is still good. I have to have part 6 as well. Stone Ocean is important. Come on. Okay. We're good now, I think. I think we're good now. Back to being a part of the podcast.
That's good because it's your turn.
When we make some more money, enough money to be able to support that, we're going to hire a guy just to do what I do at the start of the podcast every week so I can actually be on the podcast at the start of the week.
And then they'll be able to work on it on the fly while we're just like talking.
Yeah, it'll be great. So you said that like the campaign just wasn't that great then?
No, it's fantastic.
You said I shouldn't pick it up?
What I'm saying is that whenever Black Friday rolls around, if you have some extra cash, you should pick it up because it's more than worth the price that it'll be on Black Friday.
I'm probably going to buy Control instead, but I'll keep that in mind.
It's understandable.
My assumption is Control will go on sale.
Didn't you say that your dad plays Call of Duty?
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll probably get it.
Oh, for sure. On Black Friday, he'll pick it up. He
Yeah.
gets them every year.
You'll have to tell him that the campaign's really good.
I will. I'll let him know that you said the campaign was really good, and he'll be like, I've met him before. And I'll be like, yes, you have, Dad. You have met him before. Multiple times. That's my dad. It's the man who can watch The Lord of the Rings 5 times and still go, who was Frodo again? I love him, but, you know.
That's funny.
That mute button works really well for all of them, but you can still hear it.
That's okay.
So, for my week, still watching the usual stuff. Still watching that woman. I forgot the name of it for a second there and had to remember.
You're actually still watching it?
Oh yeah, I gotta keep it up, man. Gotta see. So you remember last week when I was unironically excited for the new episode of Batwoman because like it was so terrible?
Yes.
It hit a new low.
How?
And now, like, I'll explain, but now, like, I've stopped being excited again. Now it's dread, but I still have to watch in case it gets back up to that good spot of it's so bad. It's not good, but it's still enjoyable, you know? But, basically. And again, forgive me, everybody. I did have an asthma attack today. I gotta get that stuff clear. Basically, the villain is... This is spoilers. It's huge spoilers for Batwoman, the CW show. I'll put spoiler hands up. Episode 5,
because they actually care.
I guess. Don't watch it. It's not worth it. The villain of... I saw that, Craig. The villain of the show, who is like the crazy Joker-esque villain, right? Do you want to know why she's the villain?
Hold on, I have a good guess.
Okay. Whatever you guess can't be as dumb as the actual reason, but go for it.
Because someone told her to be.
No. So, Pat, do you know what the twin link is?
No.
So, the twin link is the theory that two people that are born close to each other, as in twins, right, or triplets.
Gotcha.
Have like an unspoken link to each other and can mentally understand when the other is in anguish and things like that. She gets kidnapped as a child. And the reason that she becomes a crazy villain is because her sister was on the other side of a door from her, and the twin link didn't tell her she was there. Which means that her sister obviously didn't love her for real. Because if she did, then she would have mentally known. She would have been able to read her emotions to know that she was there. So she obviously didn't care.
That is awful.
Are you kidding me? The villain is the bad guy because the main character doesn't have ESP?
So, wait. So Batwoman's the twin?
Yeah.
Wait, okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So what if they did? Would that mean that just like would one of them have been Robin? Who would have to be Robin? Will she become evil
right
because
now.
she had to be Robin?
There is no Robin right now because Batwoman is Batman's cousin. Batman already exists in this universe, but has retired because that's something he would do.
So where's Nightwing?
Nightwing doesn't exist in this universe.
Oh, of course.
If Robin / Nightwing exist in this universe, there would be no reason for Batwoman.
That's true. Where's the Joker?
Joker also does not exist in this universe.
So who was Batman's villain?
I have no idea. They have literally not.
How do you not explain that?
So the episode that comes out this week is episode 6. I think it's already out. I'll have to watch it tomorrow. But the premise is they keep name dropping these villains, but not in like a. Do you remember when this person was here? It's riddle me a question, or you sound like such a joker right now. Or you really think there's like it's just crocodiles in the sewers, and it's like you're being so obvious about this, and you're not telling us anything about this world. So,
what is going on?
that. Also, on a technical level, they made huge mistakes this last episode. There's a scene where Batwoman's stepmom has a discussion with Batwoman's stepsister, her daughter, right? And they have them have this discussion by this river, and the river's super loud. So when they talk, they ADR'd the dialogue back in. So they recorded the audio later and then dubbed it back over because they couldn't record next to the loud river. Why did you film them next to the loud river? You get to control that. This isn't like a big... It wasn't the producer going like, man, the director wants us to film here, I guess. Like, it's the same person.
That doesn't even make sense.
And
man.
then they didn't get the dubbing right, so stepmom's voice doesn't match her lip flaps.
So, I want to clarify. Don't watch this because the more that you watch it, the more that they think that they're being successful.
It was funny before. It was like it was terrible, but it was funny before. It was funny bad. It was a regular human person throwing a knife into concrete and it's sticking and going into the concrete bad. Now it's just ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. A guy gets stabbed, and he's stabbed for like 30 minutes, lying on the ground bleeding out. And in the next scene, he just walks up to Batwoman like nothing's wrong.
What?
It's like, dude, you should be dead. You should straight up just be dead right now. You bled out on that floor.
Can we just get a couple good writers for DC, please?
I wish, man. I wish.
Anybody. Now I don't want a Static Shock movie because I know what it will be like.
Yeah, no, it's not worth it. It's not worth it at this point. Not worth it.
I want a
Also-
Static Shock animated film because apparently
Yeah.
they're really good at only animated stuff.
For sure. It's also incredibly inconsistent. Like, upon realization of the Batarang thing last week, right, which was stupid already,
Mm-hmm.
I went back and watched the first episode again. Because it was funnier back then, right?
Yeah.
And she's throwing Batarangs in that episode. So, like, what? What? Huh? How did I not catch this in episode 3? So,
This is bad.
my point is, don't watch Batwoman. It's really bad. I did say a couple weeks ago, watch it because it's so bad it's good. I have come back around on that statement. It is no longer so bad it's good. It's now so bad it's legitimately bad.
That's awful.
I'll put it to you this way, Patrick. You know how much I dislike The Last Jedi? I would rather unironically watch The Last Jedi again than to sit down and watch this whole season.
That's terrible.
And that should explain to you how bad it is. I'll keep
I'm not
watching
trying
it week to week on the hope that it gets back up to the so bad it's good, you know? But
yeah.
plus at this point I'm stuck in. I have to talk about it on the podcast. People need to know.
I mean, you don't. But, okay.
Patrick, There is a moment in the episode where she's kidnapped, right? Little baby Alice is kidnapped. She gets
Mm-hmm.
the phone and calls her dad. Her dad traces the phone back because he's a cop, drives over there to go find her, gets to the guy's house that kidnapped her, and is like, "Where's my daughter? She called me on the phone. Where is my daughter?" And the guy's like, "No, you don't understand. That was my son. He can perfectly mimic voices." And you come upstairs, and there's the son sitting on the floor, and he perfectly mimics her voice. And it's like, what are the chances that this kidnapper had a son that could perfectly mimic people's voices?
That's
but the,
ridiculous.
but that Kane did not have ESP? What are the chances? So the dad just leaves because yeah. So other than Batwoman, I've been
What are you
playing.
doing, CW?
I've been playing Death Stranding.
Mm-hmm.
I'm real torn on Death Stranding. I'm at this point where I like some of it, and I really dislike other parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an improvement because you saw my untamed reactions in the Discord, and the viewers will be able to see them later this week when that video goes up after I edit it. I really liked the story at first and really disliked the gameplay at first. And in a weird way, it's kind of flipped now.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of enjoy the gameplay for the most part. There's some things I don't like. And don't enjoy as much the story. I'll have to see how the story comes together to be able to really put it all together. But right now, I'm in a weird place because in Metal Gear, when you're doing stuff, you're doing missions and you're getting constantly interrupted by the codec, but it was by really interesting characters that I liked.
Mm-hmm.
And Rose, who was not. And in Death Stranding, you're doing stuff and they're not interrupting you because they're just calling you while you're running around the world. But, like, none of them are really interesting.
Oh no.
And so it's just like, okay, cool. All right, Die Hardman, keep telling me about the plan. Sure. All right, Dead Man, let's keep talking about babies. Sure. Can I go now?
That's rough.
And in a weird way, the gameplay is what's exciting to me now. Of like trying to manage all of my materials so that I can successfully make it to my goal. I will say I don't want to say too much on this first podcast after it's come out because I don't want to spoil anything for people. It's a very big game that people have been waiting for a while, But I will say that there are two enemy types in the game so far where I'm at. Both of them are more an annoyance than they are a like actual threat. To the point where when encountering one set of them, I no longer even stop to like deal with. I just run through the area, and like they attack me, but I just run through the area, and then I'm out to the other side, and I'm okay.
And is that based on like the gear that you have, or like
No,
the upgrades? You just know how to dodge their stuff.
I'm not even dodging. I'm just running.
So they don't do enough damage for it to be worth.
No, they try to
your time?
grab you, and you can shake them off, and then you just keep running. You're supposed to hide until they move by, but they don't really move. There's like a zone that they're in, and they don't really leave. You have to get out of the zone. So hiding, in my opinion, is worthless because they're not ever going to leave. They're going to pass by you, and you're just going to leave again.
Yeah.
And you can just
You might as well
run
just leave
through.
early.
So what I normally do is my first time through, I stealth it up until I get caught, and then I run. And on the way back, I just run through. And I don't dislike the fact that they're there. I think thematically it makes a lot of sense. But if it's something I can just run through, then why are they there in the first place? Like it's
Yeah, make it more of a challenge.
How's it going, Jen? Welcome in. I won't spoil too much, King, but I'll say again where I'm at right now. There are two types of enemies,
Oh baby.
and neither of them are a threat to me at all. One of the enemy types looks super threatening, and I just punch them to death.
That's so frustrating.
I
The
don't.
game had so much hype.
I don't hate the game. Again, I actually really enjoy like the running around in the world and having to plan what I need to be able to get across. There's some really great multiplayer engagement where other people can lay ladders down and lay ropes down, and you can use their ladders and ropes to be able to get around, and like it's really cool, you know.
So are other people in the world,
No, you
or
can't see them.
oh, so
But
you just see like where they've been through?
yeah, and I put up stuff, and other people use it, and it lets me know they've used it. You know, that's pretty cool. But at the same time, I enjoy the exploration of it. Probably going to be the only thing that I really enjoy. I think I would enjoy it more if the world had stuff to do in it. Like,
Other than just being like a roadmap between missions?
yeah, and like it's pretty. It's a very beautiful world, and there's a lot, like, thematically, it makes sense for it to be empty with nothing going on, but there's nothing really to explore. I haven't got to a point where I could do that yet, King, but I've heard a lot of people talk about that. Yeah, in a lot of ways, I think just calling it a walking simulator is like, it's not fair, but I get where they're coming from, you know?
Mhm.
Because there is more to it than that. You have to maintain your boots. If your boots break down, then you're not going to be able to traverse the world anymore because the rain ages things up, and you need boots to be able to protect your feet so that you can walk. You got to keep the baby happy so that the baby doesn't like freak out, because you need the baby to be able to detect the BTs. You have to plan out your routes and make sure that you have all the materials you need. You can fall over and drop all your stuff, and you have to go get it. It's really fun in short bursts, I think, the exploration of it.
Mhm.
It gets really annoying after a while because what you have to do when you have a lot of gear and you're overburdened, or let's be honest, even when you're not overburdened, even when you just have a couple things, you'll go to move, and if the surface is uneven, Norman Reedus will start doing this, and you have to hold down the triggers to catch your backpack so that you can balance yourself. And what that leads to is anytime you have to go up a mountain, you're just doing this the whole time you're going up the mountain. And like, I don't hate that. There's like the actual journeying through the world and filling up your canteen at the river while you're traveling through the river, you know, laying down ladders to be able to cross a river, go up a mountain, laying down a rope so you can climb down a mountain. I think that's all really cool. I don't think it really needed the BTs or the other enemy type to attack you in the middle of it. I think it would have been fine on its own. And I don't know that it really needed this story because I'm not really feeling the story so far. But I do agree with Jen that I think it definitely would have fit a movie format better. I enjoy playing it, but I absolutely understand why other people hated it. And I know Andrew is more positive on it than I am. I don't know if it's because he's further than me or if it's because I'm further than him. But I definitely don't want it to feel like I don't think this game can exist. And I think they succeeded on what they were trying to do, right? They made a hiking game, as King put in chat. They made a game that is that. Watching other people do it, I think, is going to be completely ridiculous. It's going to be insane to try and watch somebody else play this. Because there are times where it's incredibly boring. But playing it, having to actually manage that hike yourself, it's not bad. I do like it. I don't think it's worth $60, honestly. But I haven't finished it yet, so maybe when I've beaten it, my feelings will have changed. Maybe the story comes together in a really good way. But where I'm at right now, I just got told, hey, good job out there, now come back to the first city you left. And I'm like, oh, that's a long walk.
Oh no.
Guess I'll go back to the first city I left.
There's no fast travel or anything?
So, not that I've seen so far. But it wouldn't make sense in the world, really, to have fast travel. So, in a weird way, I kind of hope it's not, you know? But,
yeah, well, I mean, the only thing that you'd get out of it is just like not having to run that terrain.
oh, no, I agree. Because that's all I'm going to be doing is just running back there. I have all the paths laid out already. The one thing I'm excited for is to see, as I've gotten further, I've gotten access to more things I can build. I'm curious if other players have built more stuff back closer to the first city again. And in that way, like, I'm torn in that I do not want to go back, but I also kind of do. I want to go back and see, you know? And because the enemies aren't really a threat to me, they're just an annoyance. Once I get past them, it's just, you know, spending time in this world again. Again, I wish that this world had more stuff in it to see and do. I wish there was, like, animals and stuff you could interact with. I wish that there was ruins you could explore. You know, I want it to be Breath of the Wild, basically, and it's not, and it makes me sad. But at the same time, I do still like exploring the world. I think it's still fun.
So, um, not to put any like pressure on your thoughts about the game or anything like that, but just as out of curiosity, if you had to stop right now and try to put this into your top 10, would it break your top 10?
Currently, no. Currently, it would
So,
not touch my top 10.
so far right now in the game, you think that there's 10 games you've played so far this year that are better than this game so far?
100%.
See, that's the part that's frustrating for me. Like, I probably wasn't gonna get the game either way.
Right.
While I was very hyped for the game and like excited for like the concept of the game, I was probably just gonna watch the story because I didn't want to. I knew I was gonna be able to put the time that the game was probably gonna have
Yeah.
into the game before the end of the year. But now I'm kind of nervous to even want to do that because if it's a bad game with a good story, like yeah, it's cool to watch the story, but like there's no experience with that. Whereas I'd want to watch somebody play the game.
Yeah. I will tell you that at the end of my first play session, which was like 2.5 hours, something close to it, I was
Mhm.
getting very sleepy because the game was putting me to sleep.
Yeah.
I did not like Sam at all, the main character.
Mm.
At the end of today's session, where I put another 2 hours maybe into it, maybe more than that, Sam started to grow on me. It's not the immediate love that I had with Snake. Like, it's not even close. And I hated Raiden the first time I met him, and Raiden grew on me within the first couple hours.
Mhm.
So it's really a shame that Sam is doing nothing for me because it really feels like he's just Norman Reedus. Like he doesn't really have a personality so far, and I don't know if that's because he's reserved because there is some cool stuff that's been brought out about his past, or if that's the way he's going to be the whole game. Because honestly, if that's the way he is the whole game, he's my least favorite Kojima protagonist for sure.
Well, not to derail too much, but I think that that's part of the reason why I don't like it whenever they put real like people
Yeah.
into games because there's a huge like there's a huge issue with that because there's some actors out there that in real life they're completely different people than they are when they act, and it allows them to, you know, do a lot of different roles well because you don't know how they actually are in real life.
Well, and
And then there's characters like them where you know how they kind of are in real life based on like what they've done in interviews and stuff, and then they act the same way in their movies, so all their characters are the same in
well,
every
and
movie that they're in.
I don't think that's really the problem with Norman Reedus as Sam, because he's doing a great job with him. Like the facial recognition software that they use to be able to scan in Norman Reedus in the game, he's putting a
Mhm.
lot of emotion into the role. I just don't think he's given anything to work with. Sam doesn't
Gotcha.
talk. Sam, I mean, he can, but he doesn't talk. He doesn't care. He's very reserved in everything. Doesn't really let his own emotions show, to the point where there are scenes where people are literally holding out their hands to him, and he's just looking at the hand, and it's like, I get it. There's something here, but right now you don't mean anything.
Mhm.
And it's definitely not like, again, Norman Reedus is doing a good job. Guillermo del Toro and Mads Mikkelsen are doing great performances. Deadman just doesn't. There's nothing to it. We don't know anything. Even at this point where I'm at in the game, he's talked to Sam a lot, and it's just information. Whereas, yeah, you look at Metal Gear Solid 1. What do I know about, say, Naomi Hunter? I know a lot about Naomi Hunter, right? But then what do I know about Nastasia? I know almost nothing about Nastasia. But Nastasia was fun because she loved guns, you know? And,
Mhm.
like, I think that's what it's missing in a lot of ways is these characters are written to be regular characters instead of to be Kojima characters. And I don't know that Kojima knows how to write regular characters. Because it
So,
feels in a lot of ways, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
hmm,
It feels in a lot of ways like Death Stranding, you're picking it up 200 pages into the story without anybody trying to catch you up.
gotcha. And I'm assuming in Death Stranding, because I haven't played it, I'm assuming that they try to catch you up as you play.
I have no idea. They haven't tried
Oh,
yet. They filled in
gotcha.
some information about the world, and a lot of it I'm having to figure out as I go. Which is fine. Like, you can tell a story that way. I just need you to capitalize on it. So I just need it to pay off by the end, right? I just can say where I'm at right now has not capitalized on it at all.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. Like I said, I would have loved to watch somebody play this game in my free time whenever I couldn't necessarily play a game, but I had at least like maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes to pass. But if it's that bad after all that hype, I don't think that I can pull myself to even watch somebody play just the story
I
bits.
don't think it's bad. I just think it's not what I wanted Kojima to make, and it's very tedious.
I was gonna say no offense, but you're not making a case for it.
No,
to be
that's
good.
absolutely fair. That's absolutely fair. Because I don't think it's good either. That's the thing.
Yeah,
I think it is right down the middle. It's a very niche experience. There's not a lot of games like it, and I'm not saying that means we need to score it well. I'm not saying that means that I need to tell you go buy it because there's nothing like it. It just is very unique, and it's doing what it's trying to do. It's just what it's trying to do is very exciting. So, where I am right now, I can't say, "Hey, go buy this game."
yeah,
But
that's unfortunate.
if I'll put it this way, with the distance that I am into the game right now, 4 maybe 5 hours in, when I was 4 maybe 5 hours into any of Kojima's other games, it would have been a hands down recommendation at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Even MGS4, that 5 hours in, I'd spent 2 hours of that in cutscenes, I still would have said, yeah, it's worth it. Yeah,
I
it's
wonder how many hours they said this game is supposed to be.
40.
Hmm.
I'm 100% with Jen. This game is one of the most it's art games that have ever been made because of how niche it is. And if it doesn't look like something you'd enjoy
Train
right
time.
now, train time. If it doesn't look like something you'd enjoy right now, don't. You know, I'll have thanks, man. I'll have more on it by the end of the year. Andrew, Artaka Andrew is a lot more positive on it so far than I am. It might wind up being our Odyssey versus Breath of the Wild with it, but again, I don't know how far he is yet. It could be that he's further ahead than me and has seen more cool stuff, or he's not as far as I am and hasn't seen more of the bad stuff. But we'll see. We'll see. Do you have any other questions about Death Stranding before we move on?
No, really. I think we pretty much covered it. It's something. It's frustrating. Like I said, the only thing I can really say is that it's frustrating for me because I wanted y'all to like it.
Yeah.
Because I knew that if y'all liked it, then there was a chance that I would enjoy watching someone playing it.
Yeah.
But if both of you don't like it, it's going to be difficult for me to want to put time into watching someone play it because I don't think that I would like something that both of you don't like.
I would say look up some footage, see what you think of looking at it. My first impressions video will be going up later this week. It's an hour long, I believe, somewhere close to it. Because I didn't cut any of the opening cutscenes out because I feel like it's important that you know when you buy the game how many cutscenes there are in the first hour. But that's Kojima. Like, that's what he's always done, right? So, like, I didn't have a problem with it. It's just the gameplay in there is, but
yeah,
I have been recording background footage while playing it, because I probably will do a review on it after I'm done. I don't know what form that will take, but I probably will. Probably will. Yeah, and as Jin says, you know, hey, maybe just watch a couple cutscenes and see what you think.
yeah.
Maybe Sam will connect with you in a way he didn't with me. But
We'll see.
the other game that I've been playing to finish out my week, and I say been playing, I played it once for the first time today for 30 minutes, which I recorded all of for another First Impressions, is a game called Disc Creatures, which is a mix.
I saw
Go
that
ahead.
you were playing this earlier while I was studying.
Yes.
It like popped up on my Steam thing saying that you were playing it, and I was like, "What the heck is Disc Creatures?"
It's a mix between Pokemon and Dragon Quest Monsters, like that style, old school like monster collecting game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I think it's good. I feel bad because like all the games and shows, everything I did this week, I have to put up a big warning, like, hey, this might not be good. But it's Graphically, it's really cool. It definitely nails the idea of like a Game Boy game, Game Boy Color. The sprites are really good looking. They did a really good job with the environments. I don't really like the battle system. It almost feels like they designed a battle system that would take as long as possible to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then you have the fact that the areas are really big, and you have to go back to specific areas to heal, like you do in Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't make money from winning battles like you do in Pokemon, so I can't buy healing items to reduce the amount of time I have to go back to the disc cafe.
Mm-hmm.
The creatures' typings don't really seem to matter much. There were a couple times where there were types that really made a difference, but for the most part, I was just brute forcing my way through encounters. I do think they have a really cool catching system where you can give things called memory ups to a Discer, and it'll make
Mm-hmm.
that Discer's meter fill, and when the meter's full, you have a 100% chance of catching it, of getting a
Gotcha.
disc of it, and when it's in lower areas, then you have a different, but every time you fight it, you have a 20% chance of getting it.
That's
So
not bad.
it's a really interesting system. My biggest complaint is you can only have 3 monsters in your party. And
Oh no.
and they all 3 fight at the same time, right? But by the end of the first area, the first zone, right? I already had like 9 Discers,
Mm-hmm.
and they also don't get XP if they die in battle, like if they faint.
Oh man.
So my 3 that I got at the start were all like the same level with the same XP, and then I got crit by a water attack in the final fight that we were doing for the video, and my fire guy went down, and he's now just a level behind the other 2. I hate it when games do that, man.
Yeah.
I get it, like Pokemon does that, but I also don't expect in Pokemon to be able to keep everybody at the same level. I expect to be able to keep them in a range. But when they're all
Yeah.
3 fighting at the same time, getting the same XP, I expect to be able to keep them at the same level. Dang it. Uh, it's
The monsters look like direct rip-offs.
I don't know that I'd say that. I think they went for the idea of Pokemon, Dragon Quest, and old school Digimon mixed. Um, I don't know what some of the creatures are supposed to be, but like the little fire guy, I can't remember his name right now, is just the Mario 64 lava monster thing, like the little guys with the gloves that at you in Mario 64 lava levels. It's just that guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the design of the game. It's just incredibly slow.
The artwork looks pretty nice.
Yeah,
but
it looks really cool. It also has no options whatsoever. So you have
Ooh.
to manually force it to go full screen. And sounds good, King. And the only options you have are volume. That's it. You can't change anything else.
That's pretty rough.
But you can save anywhere, so there's that.
Yeah, I think that it has a lot to it leaves a lot to desire.
Yeah, when I started it, I was really hyped. It's not even on my maybe list for games to beat before the end of the year right now.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody will send me a message and be like, "Hey, no, when you get to this part, this happens." I'll be like, "That's awesome. I'm there." But right now, it's not even on the maybe list.
I feel like that'd be maybe a better game for the Switch even, but at the same time like that's a lot of work.
I don't know that
It sounds like
Nintendo would put that on the Switch.
probably not.
Nintendo might look at that and go, "Copy our homework."
Nani.
But we'll move on from my week. We'll move forward and for anybody that's just now joining us, Andrew is sick tonight. That's why he's not here. He's all right, just getting him some rest. Probably laid back on the couch playing him some Death Stranding.
Luigi's Mansion?
He might be playing Luigi's Mansion. I still need to pick that up. So we're gonna play our review game. Tonight is Pat v Chat.
Woo! No algorithms, baby.
So we're starting off with Need for Speed Heat reviews. Need for Speed Heat, the newest game in the Need for Speed franchise.
I was thinking about actually checking this game out.
Polygon put out an article about how it didn't have microtransactions, and that was a bad thing.
That was a bad thing.
Yeah, because they said that it meant that EA sent it out to die instead of being excited that it didn't have them. But that's Polygon for you. Jin says 70. All right. What are you guys thinking for the score here?
Yeah, I'm thinking like a 75.
Okay, 75.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give my usual countdown for chat, so anybody else that hasn't yet can put in their guesses. Another 3. All right. The answer is 73.
Ooh, Jen and I cut it halfway.
Yep. What do you think the recommended score is?
It's probably like 58%.
Think so?
Yeah, I feel like normally whenever it's below 75, it's usually kind of like in the middle. Like it's like half, maybe not.
Jin's shooting up for a 62.
Artaka says low 80. Maybe I'm assuming that means for the original score.
Probably.
I know chat's usually a little behind.
Mm-hmm. Guessing the review scores for Need for Speed Heat.
Yeah, this is the
Oh, I'm sorry, man. That's
recommendation. So Artaka's saying 79% recommended. Okay.
The recommended score is, I think I said snore instead of score, but it's fine. Recommended score is 50%.
I was pretty close.
Pretty close. Right on the line. Let's read some of our favorite reviews, shall we?
While you do that, I'm gonna look up the trailer because I don't remember what this game was supposed to look like.
Yeah. So US Gamer gave it a 3 out of 5, saying that it's a conglomeration of Need for Speed's past. A little Payback, a little Rivals, a little Hot Pursuit, a little Underground. It has some weird AI issues, a lack of variety in events, and some poor tuning and cop chases, which means it's not great. 3 out of 5.
This does look a lot more like the older style, which is what I've wanted in a Need for Speed game because
Yes.
I was huge into Need for Speed Underground. It was one of my favorite games, but I hated a lot of the newer ones. Like I think the last one that the last one I played and actually enjoyed was like Need for Speed Pro Street.
You'd be right, Shadowfox.
Because it was still.
You'd be right.
Because hey, what's going on, Shadowbox? Because I thought that Pro Street was still very interesting.
Yeah.
But after that, man, it really killed me.
Yeah.
But this looks really interesting. I might pick this up.
Here's not. Yeah, that's true. It does look good. It does look good. Our friends over at Games Radar, Daily Star. I'm sorry, everybody, they didn't put a review in for this. Our friends over at Games Radar gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Said great modding and a decent game engine can't disguise the tired story and simplistic driving. You don't know what IGN gave it?
What is the scale that they're using?
Out of 10.
10? They give it a 3?
No, that's way too low for them. They don't give below a 7.
Oh wait, no, you're right. 6.
They gave it an 8.
Really?
Need for Speed Heat is a mosaic of existing ideas, but it is easily the most impressive Need for Speed in. And that honestly is what it seems like in a lot of ways.
Like based on I remember seeing this trailer now whenever the announcement came out. It does look very impressive compared to how it used to be. I mean, they even have like an avatar editor, which is pretty wild. I mean, I don't know what they're going to use that for in the game, but
for your ghost
maybe
data. Sure, right?
Yeah, right. Maybe there's like a story beat or of some type, where like your character actually is involved instead of it just being like them looking into an empty car.
Yeah.
I hated that so much. Like, why even have a story if I don't get to have a character? They just look into the car and it'd be empty, and you could clearly see that there was no one sitting in that car, and they'd be like, "You ready to ride?" And I'm just like, no, I'm not even in the car. What?
You're clearly a ghost taking over the car, Patrick.
I don't even have the keys.
Maybe you're a transformer. Did you think about that?
If they had told me I was a transformer, I never would have stopped playing that game.
You get to driving and you just hear Lord Megatron. You look
Midway
up and
through the
jet
game,
flies by.
midway through the game, like you transform and you get into a fight. That'd be wild.
I'll have you know I'm really proud of my Starscream voice.
Pretty good.
I've practiced it a little bit. I think Downward Thrust has taken a break from YouTube, King. I think he said that he's not getting the traction that he was getting before. Wonder why. Planet Zoo also had some reviews.
Which one was this? I'm gonna look at the trailer.
This was the Zoo Simulator
Oh boy.
that all of us forgot was coming out, but Andrew was really hyped for before we all forgot it existed.
See, I don't like the zoo in real life, so I have no reason to want to play
Why
a
don't
zoo.
you like the zoo?
It's so boring to me.
What do you mean it's boring?
Like once you've seen the zoo once,
Yeah.
there's no point in going a second time.
I just want to point out, Pat gave that look to me of like, he started the sentence, paused, looked at me, and said, he's not going to like what I'm about to say, and then said it anyway. So,
I think
I disagree.
the idea of a zoo is cool.
I disagree
that's
that
great.
you won't come back. Because when you come back to the zoo, you get to see how the animals have been doing. You get to see what's changed in the environment. You get to see the snake. Now he's all slimy because he's got his new, he's shed his skin again. He's got his new scales. You get to see they moved the crocodile again. Now he's, over here instead. You get to see that old lion that's getting lazy is still lazy, but they got a new lioness in there and she's running the pack now. You get to see that rhino get up and move for a little while. As I talk about it more, I kind of agree with you.
Yeah.
I only need to go to the zoo once a year, basically. I just want to go and see all the animals are still alive that I know.
The idea of this game is cool because it's your zoo.
Yeah.
I thought it was like you walking around a zoo, but this is actually like you're creating a zoo, so that's a little bit cooler. Because I like those type of like idle type games where you just kind of put something together and let it go.
Yeah.
But I might buy this game, and here's why. I know my girlfriend's not watching, so I can say this.
She might be.
She loves the zoo. And she constantly wants to go to the zoo.
Chad, I'm gonna tell her that he said that.
I'm gonna buy this game, so anytime she asks me to go to the zoo, I can hand her the controller and be like, "Here you go."
Yeah.
You know what? I got a better one for you. Make your own zoo.
I don't think I've ever come around on something that quickly. Like on something that you said, I was like, "No, that's ridiculous. How would you not want to go back to the zoo all the time?" And then it was like, "Oh. No, in hindsight, why do I go to the zoo?"
So the worst part for me is that like whenever I was a kid, you go to the zoo, and of course when you're really young, it's super cool, right? Because you get to see all these crazy animals that you never get to see in real life.
Yeah.
Like any type of way. And so it's exciting because you're like, oh my gosh, like look at this animal, look at this animal. I got this close to this animal, blah blah blah. That was enough for me because the second time that I went, I realized that it was the same exact zoo with, at least to my kid knowledge, with the same exact animals. And they were all in the same exact spots. And I still had to walk, and my parents weren't going to buy me peanuts.
I think it would be different if we lived near the big zoos.
Maybe.
Like for instance, say the Dallas Zoo, right?
Maybe.
Or like the Baton Rouge Zoo. That's like 3 stories just in their snake building.
If I didn't have to walk to see all of these things, I'd probably be happier. And I know it sounds lazy, and it's because it is. But if I'm just gonna have to walk around and see the same animals, cut out the walking.
Because like for
Just
me,
cut it out.
I like
Give me
to
a
see
scare.
I like to see animals in their environment, right? And the big zoos have that. They
Mhm.
have them like just chilling on their own. Nobody's like they're not in a little square. But like my local zoo, the rhino has his own area because they can't put anything else in with him. And the giraffes have their own area, and everything else is just like there, you know?
Yeah. I want to say this though because I feel like there might be a slight misunderstanding. I like the concept of a zoo outside of like the part where you're taking them out of their natural habitat, and sometimes zoos mistreat their animals, so it's kind of like a bad thing.
It depends on the zoo.
Yeah, but if it's a good zoo that's taking care of the animals, especially if they're like an endangered species and actually taking care of them, then I'm for it because not only does it give kids like a chance to go see these animals and even potentially because like for example, my girlfriend's little brother went to the zoo, and after he went to a zoo, he decided he wanted to be a zoologist.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
he's fallen in love with animals, and now he wants to go to the zoo all the time because he absolutely loves animals. And that's awesome. Like
Yeah,
that's
I
one of the
agree.
ways that you get kids into that kind of stuff. But at the same time, while there is a cool idea about, the zoo has a decent idea, I can't get behind going to the zoo more than once because it's just like once you've seen a zoo, you've seen almost all the zoos, unless it's like some really nice big zoo, and even then, it's still
Chat, don't make me laugh. I had an asthma attack today. Don't make me laugh.
That's pretty funny.
I need his body. Anyway, this was all so we could talk about Planet Zoo reviews.
Oh yeah.
What do you guys think the current score is for Planet Zoo?
I don't know how they would score this.
I was
So
checking my phone, by the way, because my front camera was going off on my security system because there's a
Mhm.
storm going on outside.
Yes.
And the camera was like, dude, check it out. The libs are flying everywhere.
So I'm kind of nervous to give a score because I feel like I'm gonna be really off.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna try to like play the field, and I'm gonna say 77
Okay. Chat,
because Artaka says 68.
give the countdown. Time to guess. The score
Gosh,
is 81.
I wasn't too far off.
No, it's pretty highly scored. So, what do you guys think the percentile is for recommended?
It's probably somewhere in the same range that I said for the score. So it's probably like 77, 75%,
Okay.
maybe a little bit lower. I'm gonna stick with 75. I feel like that's safe.
Okay. Chat, I'm going to give you a 10 count this time because we burned through that pretty quick. 9, 7, 6, 5, 4. Do you know there are people that do 10 counts where like they alternate between the hands? So it'll be like
That's
10, 9, 8, 7, 6. It's like, what do you
That's
know?
kind of
What,
weird.
what are you doing? Stop. I mean, if
I
you
mean,
do that
I
at
guess
home,
it's the same.
sure, it works, but like, no.
It's
um,
kind of weird.
the critics' recommended score is 89%.
A lot higher than I thought it was gonna be.
Yes.
I think it's because it's more of like like I said, it's like an idle like zoo building type game where you just build a zoo and watch it thrive versus it being just like a zoo simulator.
it's supposed to have a bit more to it than a lot of the other Zoo Sims do. So I see where, people might be just really over the moon about it. Um, there aren't really a lot of places that we know that did reviews for it. Games Radar gave it a 4 out of 5. Said it's a complex, deep simulation game with too much to give if you can get past the minimalist tutorials. Which, I mean, yeah, that's a complaint. I definitely see why that could be a problem, but once you know the game, that problem no longer exists. So
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is, I suppose. And then PC Gamer gave it a 75 out of 100. Said another strong yet stressful management sim from Frontier Development. wrap it
Why
all up.
would you use 100-point scale?
I
The
don't get
heck
it
outta
either,
here.
man. I don't get it either.
The heck out of here.
Game Informer gave it a 7 out of 10. Said Planet Zoo has a lot of ambition and depth, but it often comes at too high a cost. And it seems like people liked it.
Is it a full price game?
Yes.
Uh,
So one thing I want us to start doing, we haven't been doing it. I want to add a segment onto reviews. And I want to call this segment Coming Up.
okay.
What's coming up in the next couple weeks? Release wise. Mostly for us, because I often forget what's coming up, but also everybody else might want to know too.
Mm-hmm.
So coming up, the big releases anyway. We're not going to cover like all the stuff coming out on Steam and all the stuff coming out on Epic and everything. Big releases. The Age of Empires 2 remaster is on the 14th. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is on the 15th. Pokemon Sword and Shield is on the 15th. That's Friday. Shenmue 3 is next Tuesday. And then that's kind of it for big releases for a little while. Like there's a new Sniper Ghost Warrior coming. People like those games.
Good for them.
Well, SD Gundam Cross Race is not going to be on OpenCritic if I had to guess our talking, but yes, it is coming up as well. So we will move on then from coming up into some news. The first news article we have is my boy Terry Bogard. Hey chat. Terry's in Smash. Playable now. And he's real good. For anybody who was like, hey, Trey, you recorded that like 30-minute video of you just playing around with Hero and doing his classic mode. Are you going to do one of those for Terry? It's already done. Just waiting to go up. But there was a lot of stuff that was already pre-recorded that needed to go up. So, regardless.
Well,
go ahead.
I have bad news for you. Some not that popular person is gonna be really upset because they're super OP, and they're gonna be dropped from playable at tournaments. So
You're probably right. Because Terry's real good. He can cancel out his combos mid-go. To be able to use other moves. He has input moves from King of Fighters and Fatal Fury that you can weave in to his regular combos by canceling out. He is
actually kind of OP.
He's well, I mean, it's just what Fatal Fury is. You can technically do the same thing with Ryu. It's just that Ryu has that delay between his attacks because Street Fighter has a delay between them. Terry's really fun. He plays just like Terry. And they have done so much to not destroy Terry Bogard putting him in the game, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He has his moveset. They've changed a couple things. He doesn't have all his moves, but he has most of them. When he gets past 100 damage in the percentage or down below 30% when in elimination or sudden death, I can't remember what it's called. It's the one where they have health bars going down. He gets hyper, go pops up, and then he can use Buster Wolf and Power Geyser. You still have to put in the positionals. You can't just use them. But they're real good. They're real good. He can KO pretty easily with them. The kicker is Terry doesn't take a lot of damage. He gets hit and he hurts. So you really have to play Terry carefully. Yeah, man, another year of DLC characters. Some good stuff coming. And who's that fifth one gonna be, right? I don't know yet. We're gonna find out. At this point, I would take anybody. I'm happy. I got my Kiryu. Or I was gonna say I got my Kiryu. I still want Kiryu, but I got my Terry. I got my Hero. I got Mega Man.
If they add Kiryu, I think that this would be like an ongoing game for a long time in the fighting tournament world.
Die if they add Kiryu.
Trey's just like not putting out any content anymore. He's just not showing up to the podcast, and we're like, "What are we doing?" And he's just like in his room with all the lights off. And he's just like, "Yeah, I'm playing as Kiryu."
Kakakatoy! Oh no, Terry's really good.
Goku will never make it in Smash. I'm unfortunately telling you the truth.
Also, do you know what he does when you hit somebody with Buster Wolf? What Terry does?
What does he do?
So he has a taunt that's "Are you okay?" But when you do the Buster Wolf input, as he's running towards you, he goes, "Are you okay, Buster Wolf?" It's like yes, yes. They specifically made sure to get his old voice and his new voice. The old voice does all the old call outs, the new voice does all the actual like grunts and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
He has his 8 costumes are references to the different games that he's been in, except for one of them, which is a reference to the Fatal Fury movie, the animated movie. There's 50 different tracks from SNK in there. Not all of them Fatal Fury or King of Fighters, but a lot of them are. There's the stage, of course, which is really cool, and it's a really interesting stage where like the walls are up and you have to do a set amount of damage to be able to knock people through the walls. You can't just stage them out. And there are 20 different guest characters that show up on that stage.
That's really cool. Question: the new DLC characters that are coming out after this group, are they going to be still in the fighters pass?
One more.
No.
There'll be 5 in the pass, and then my assumption is they'll probably do another fighters pass.
So, Band, the best thing would probably be to just buy the passes for both.
Yeah, I wish, as Band brought up Gundam Extreme Versus and Gundam Versus has the same problem. I wish they had passes, honestly, where you just buy them all at once. Because having to buy them all individually is really annoying. But I'm right there with you. Just adding. They also, every new character will now come with 2 songs instead of 1.
That's good.
So, I mean, the characters were already coming with multiple songs. Every new not assist trophy, Mii Fighter outfit will come with 2 songs. So, like, Sans only had 1, they're adding another one to him that you just get for free. Or not for free, you know what I mean, because you bought that outfit.
Mm-hmm.
You get the other one. So, yeah, you do. You get a lot more in Smash Ultimate, I would say, chat, as you pointed out, Artaka, than you did in even Versus for that $5. I think it's pretty good. You get a stage, you get some songs. Yeah?
I feel like that's one thing Nintendo does have going for them right now.
Mm-hmm.
Smash is still killing it right now.
There's a lot of rumors about who the next one's going to be. People saying Bandai Namco. People saying Platinum. If it's Platinum, there's no doubt in my mind, as Shadow Fox has pointed out, it'll be Astral Chain if it's Platinum. But there's rumors saying that it's going to be a duo character. There's rumors saying that it's going to be an NES character. Like, it's everywhere right now. Nobody knows what to believe, you know? But we'll see. I'm excited. I think they'll reveal it probably at the Game Awards, like they did with Joker.
Yeah, probably.
And that'll be when we find out who the 5th one is.
Wait, when is the Game Awards again? Isn't that coming up?
Alexa, when's the Game Awards 2019? She's not going to know. I don't know why I asked her. Alexa, stop.
We know where Alexa's priorities are.
Yeah, that's the only game she cares about.
I wonder if Google will know.
Let's see. December 12th, 2019.
We've got some time.
Yeah. Which makes sense. I mean, they haven't been just revealing it every month or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Terry's really fun. You should play around with him. I like him a lot. I think I had some people message me and say, "Hey, you're a Terry fan. Is he hard to play in Smash? I've never played a fighting game with positional inputs." First off, no, he's not hard to play. The positionals are very easy to get used to. They're really simple. Quarter circle back, back, down, back, down, back, down, back, down. It's super easy. Da-da-da, da-da-da, and da-da-da, da-da-da. Super easy. Secondly, please play a fighting game with positional inputs. Not just because it's like Smash is not a fighting game. It will make you better at Smash for playing a game that has positional inputs, because it makes you pay attention more to where you are standing on the stage and where your opponent is because you have to do something to get that attack that you want. So you have to know your spacing. You have to know your distance. You have to be able to play footsies. And it will make you better as a Smash player for having known that information. But that's my soapbox.
I like it.
A good idea, man. We'll move on though. From there, Humble Choice, which we had brought up before, I'll give a quick recap. Humble Choice is the new program that's replacing Humble Bundle. It will be a choice, literally, to be able to choose which games you want to get out of the set. If you are grandfathered in, which means you need to pay for this month of their premium service now to be able to keep it, you will have the $12.99 price instead of the $20 price, and still get all the stuff that you would get for the $20. But you need to sign up this month if you want to take advantage of that, because Humble Choice starts December 6th, which means by the end of this month, if you are not subscribed to their service, you will not be grandfathered in. Just a heads up. Not saying you even care about Humble Bundle. I'm just saying if you do, you need to sub this month to be able to be grandfathered in and save you $8 a month for the rest of your life. That $8 adds up, man. That's a hamburger. It's 2 hamburgers if you're smart. So, I didn't think we'd be talking about Fallout 76 every week again for a little while. But
why not?
You remember they started their first program, right?
Unfortunately.
And then players were bullying players that had the first stuff.
Yep.
Well, that has flipped back around, and now the players that have the first bonuses have started the Aristocracy Association, which is where they are now picking on players that aren't part of the subscription service. From a weird psychological standpoint, this is all incredibly interesting.
This is a terrible soap opera.
Yeah, it really is.
This is like Batman, Batwoman
Yeah.
meets a novella, like really bad.
Yeah. Like, if you had asked me if this was going to happen, I probably would have said, nah, I don't think it'll go that far. In hindsight, it's absolutely the logical extension of what's happening. Like,
my question is, like, at what point does this game just fall away?
yeah.
How are people still playing this game?
Yeah. The worst part was people went back to be able to pick on people that got the first membership. And now people are back with the first membership to pick on people that don't have it. Continuing the cycle and causing the cycle to just begin to be more destructive.
Bethesda, what are you doing, man?
Yeah. It's just,
sign me up. Get out of here.
it's just a terrible cycle. Don't you want to be a part of the Aristocracy Association?
A bad high school anime.
You gotta sign up quick. Become a part of that association, man. There's also the artificial sense of investment. It really is. Real quick, do you want to sidebar and take that topic?
We can.
I don't know if that's a topic you want to cover or not, but the sense of investment with video games and media, I think, is really interesting.
Okay. Yeah, we can jump on that.
So, like, when you're so far into something that even though it's gotten bad, you have to keep going.
So what you're saying is anyone that was buying NBA Live between the years of 2015 and this year.
Yeah, or is watching Batwoman right now.
It's just, I would go as far as saying, like, there's a lot of content that's like that, where you play it because you wanted it to be good, and you realize it's not good, but you can't help but continue to buy in, even though you know that it's not getting any better.
Gotcha games.
Oh yeah, gotcha games for sure.
100%.
You know that too well, don't you?
Yeah. It's a thing where you recognize there's a problem. It's a thing where you know you need to stop. It's a thing where you know that you can't keep going forward. But if you leave now, then you've lost everything that you have. No, don't start watching it. It's so bad. Also, though, if you want to commiserate with me every week, man, that is okay too. Accept that. But like, you get this feeling of I've invested too much already. I can't leave now. If I do, then I've wasted all my time. I wasted all my money. It's the reason I played WoW for so long, even when I fell out of love with it. Because I had put so much of my life into it, I needed to stay. If I didn't stay, what did I waste all that time for? And like, that's not the way to look at the way you interact with media, right?
Yeah.
You choose to interact with media because you want to open yourself up to it. You want to open yourself up to the ideas that it presents. You want to get told a good story. You want to connect with characters. There's a million different reasons why you watch different things that you watch or play different things that you play. But the moment that you say, I am too far in to quit, is the moment that you have let it take over, you know?
Mm. See, I was gonna bring up the Destiny thing just like Shadow Fox did, but I was worried that it may not be exactly the same.
No, I think
Like a
it
lot of,
absolutely is.
I feel like Destiny really hits that, and for me, Rocket League hit that for a little while because I hated the community, and I hated what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, okay, well, I've put so many hours into this game, I might as well just keep playing
Yeah,
and just hope that it gets better. And it never did. And
yeah,
then whenever Epic bought it, it was like the last straw. It was like, this is there's no there's no fixing this now. Like, it's
yeah,
at this point it's definitely jumped over the edge. So what's the point?
absolutely. It's this idea of I'm already in, so why would I leave? And you can convince yourself, well, it'll get better, right? It'll improve, but it doesn't. It never does, you know? I don't know what just happened. I can't see us at all. Pat, you still with me? We still online? We still online? Still up? I can't hear anybody. I can't see anybody. Try leaving the call and coming back to the call. I don't know if chat you can hear me at all, but still here. The stream still says it's up. In fact, if you can still hear me, can you change uh the place? There's a word for it. Hold on, I'm gonna try it myself too. Oh.
Hey,
Are we back?
yeah.
Man, what the heck? It must be the storm just acting up. Technical difficulty cast tonight, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody.
You're a little like in and out for me right now.
Okay,
It might just be you like been kind of like
catching
slowly
up.
strengthening. Yeah.
All right, let me check movements. Am I laggy? I'm a little laggy. No longer laggy. You think we're working it out? Can you hear me better, Pat?
Yeah, I can hear you really good. Your voice
Okay.
is fine now.
All right, good. My voice is fine. Oh, thank you. Man, I don't even remember where I was. What was I saying?
I can't remember the exact words because I kind of freaked out.
Oh, man, that's so sweet. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, that was me with WoW, and then later on with League of Legends. With League of Legends, I got to this point where I wasn't even playing it because I liked it, and I wasn't putting money in because I liked it. I was playing it because friends were playing it, and I liked them, and I was putting money in because I already had all the champions, and they kept coming out with new champions. And if I didn't get the new champions, what was I doing? I was behind, and that's a terrible mindset to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. And if you don't like something, don't play it. It's just that simple.
I'm very glad that didn't happen to me with League of Legends because I never stopped liking to like playing the game.
Yeah.
I just didn't like how it was taking so much of my life. because I would play it for so many hours and not do anything else. And so the main reason I stopped playing it wasn't it had nothing to do with like the uh like the thought of the investment. It was just that like, this is taking up too much of my time. I need to play something shorter.
Yeah.
And while ARAM was like a lot shorter, I would still play so much ARAM
But it
because
didn't matter.
I yeah, I'm not afraid to say that I was addicted to the game for a while
Yeah.
because I legit like I spent every time I'd get done with class, if I wasn't spending time with Bree, I was playing League. Like there was no in between. So
I remember we were having trouble getting you to recordings every once in a while. And you would be showing on Discord playing League, and you were like, "I'm almost done with this match," and then I'll head over that way, and it's like, said that 2 matches ago, Patrick. um,
um
question though,
mhm.
because we've talked about games a lot. What about anime, movies, TV shows?
Yeah. There's a lot of those that's happened to me. TV shows more than anime. I have not watched an anime yet that's been like this is so bad, but I've spent so much time watching it that I need to finish it because there's every anime I've ever watched. If I didn't like it, I stopped watching it.
Yeah, that's the way you. That's the sensible thing to do. It's as
Yeah.
Artaka says, it's the sunk cost fallacy. Everybody's having fun with this new thing, and yeah, that's for sure. I used to review anime on my anime list, and like everybody did back in the day. So like I wasn't special, but because of that, I thought I had to watch every show that I started all the way to completion, whether I liked it or not,
So that you could like leave a review on
so
your
I could
anime list?
review it. And so I watched a lot of series that I hated. And the first time that I saw a show that I said, no, I'm not going to do this anymore, I was watching Seto no Hanayome. I think the translated version of the name is like My Bride is a Mermaid.
Mm-hmm.
And I was 9 episodes in, and they introduced the love rival. And I was like, this is fine. Love rival always shows up. All I need is for the main character and the main heroine to just don't get me started on Fairy Tail. All I need is for the main character and the main female character to still only have eyes for each other, and we're fine, right? And everything's good. And the love rival is introduced, and she goes, "Oh," and I was like, "Nope, I'm done. I'm not gonna sit because I know how it's gonna end. She's still gonna wind up with the main character. We're gonna have like 15 episodes of her being torn because she likes them both." And I was like, "Nope, I don't like any of these characters enough to stick around."
Yeah. So this is going to be a very unpopular opinion.
Okay.
So I'm prepared because every time I say this, people kind of get mad at me. For me, that show was How I Met Your Mother. I think that How I Met Your Mother had good parts
I've
and
never
some of the
seen that
jokes.
show.
It's not great.
I've heard about it.
People rave about it, and it's considered
hear
like
the
one of the
ending is
better comedy
garbage.
shows. The ending is hot garbage, and that's one of the reasons why I hate it even more than the middle content. I don't think it's a bad show.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I clarify that because most people just jump to like, "Oh, how could you hate this show?" Blah blah blah. I don't hate it. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
And like I said, it has some really funny parts, and it has some really stupid parts where like the characters do something that they intend to be funny, and because laughter can be contagious, you have the crowd laughing and it causes you to laugh a little bit.
Yeah.
But I wasn't laughing.
I got you.
I was just like, this is stupid. And no one can sit here and tell me that that show is worth watching all the way, especially with how it ends, because the ending is awful.
Watch it.
Yeah, I know you don't have an opinion, but I'm just saying, like, for any of the people who are going to comment later, the ending
fair.
is trash, and you can't tell me that that show is worth watching all those episodes to get to that.
Kind of
not.
like Game of Thrones.
Oof.
Real quick though, just want to point out to Ban's point. Do you remember when I made you watch the first episode of Handshakers?
mhm.
It was for that very reason of like, So My Bride is a Mermaid is like bad because it's mediocre, right? Handshakers is so bad that like I had to make Pat and Andrew and a couple of other of our friends watch the first episode together.
So, band, I agree with you.
I don't like Big
I
Bang Theory at all.
I don't I don't like it, but I don't dislike it.
I
It's
actively
again,
dislike it.
and that's understandable. I do think it has funny parts. I only watched it because my grandmother loved it. And because my grandmother was watching it and that's how we spent time together watching TV, we would watch it. Same thing with
Taki, you
Two and a
can't
Half
use that
Men.
word anymore. Haven't
Now,
you heard?
no, Jesus. Two and a Half Men, in my opinion, is a good show, or like it's above par
I've never seen it.
until Ashton Kutcher joins the show because they have to get rid of Charlie Sheen. The show takes such a deep dive. That show is awful after Charlie Sheen leaves,
Welcome back.
and you can't tell me wrong.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, so there's a lot of the like for me shows are like that because I invested a lot of time watching shows because that's how I spent time with my family. So it was like like we'd sit around the couch and that because they didn't want to do anything else with me. So we'd sit around and watch
It's fair.
some
It's fair.
show, and you know a lot of them were good and a lot of them were bad, but I'd spend time watching them because there was a different type of investment.
Yeah.
But I the big one for me is How I Met Your Mother because that one's like critically acclaimed as like a decent movie, like decent show, a good show,
Yeah.
and I disagree. Um, like because I know some people will say that it's better than Friends, and I think Friends is really good.
I liked Friends.
I think
I've seen
I
Friends.
think yeah, I think Friends has really good comedy. Like there's a couple episodes obviously that miss, but there's always going to be a few that miss. But I think it's really good. I don't see how people can compare the two because Friends actually has good comedy. So
That's fair.
that's my soapbox. I
That's
can't
fair.
stand when people tell me that show is good because it's
I'm
not.
much more likely to to finish bad games than I am to finish bad shows.
I
in a weird
I
way.
agree, but I feel like that's only because bad games can still have good parts to them.
Yeah, like Drakengard has
like
an amazing story, but plays terribly.
there's a lot of games like that. I mean, like there's a lot of PS2 games that I played as a kid.
Better not be
That the
about to trash
gameplay.
talk the PS2.
I'm not gonna trash out the PS2.
Okay,
It's one of
good,
the greatest
good, good.
consoles of all time.
That's right.
There were
Dang
some
right
games
it
that I
is.
played. There were some there were some games that I played that I loved for the story, but didn't like the gameplay, or vice versa.
Yeah.
But truth be told, there was not that many PS2 games that I played that I didn't like in some way. So
Yeah. Speaking
numbers.
of chat's talking about generations, do you know I looked it up? According to Google, I'm a millennial.
Yeah, the age cutoff is like right now. I think it was when you have to be born
And like
after 89, I think 1989.
I
No, it
am
might be.
so close to the opposite of what I think of when I think of the word millennial. But at the same
See,
time, like nobody's defined by their generation, right? Everybody's different. But still, it really surprised me. I was like, "What?"
yeah, see, I hate the whole like generational grouping because a lot of people don't think that I'm older because of the way that I act, but I have a quote unquote older spirit. Like if you actually get to know me, most people think that I'm like 25 or 26, and I'm not.
Certain people have just caught up to the PS2 talk.
Uh,
Yeah, it's the elder console. It's safe. Sacred. Yeah, no, like I agree with you. I don't get it. I don't understand like so this is my question, I guess. Who dictates what's the cutoff? Who dictates what they're called? Who dictates the
Yeah.
cutoff? That's what I want to know. I want to know who gets to say, no, you were born after this date in 1990, so you're a millennial now. Like,
and see, a
how
lot
do
of
you
it
get to make that choice?
they also try to say that like depending on which generation you're a part of, like you think of these different trends differently. But that's not true either, because like some people get with trends because they like that trend, and some people don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear older people saying things like bet, which normally wasn't said before,
Right.
and it had obviously a completely different meaning. But I know people that are my age that refuse to say it because they think it's stupid.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like it's stupid. The whole thing is stupid. Like,
Yeah.
I understand.
And as Masatsu just pointed out, that's not even getting into like the half generations and everything. Generation Y and the Zennials and who makes these? Who is in charge of this? Are my taxes, that's the grammatically correct one, going to paying somebody to go, you're a millennial, you're a Generation Y? Because if so, I want that person's job. That's mine.
Well, I feel like it's all like tabloid type stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's all made by people who run tabloids. Then and that's how it becomes important to people, because people who still pay attention to tabloids make it important to them.
Yeah,
And then the people who like them, because usually it's somebody popular,
that's fair.
they
We lost Pat. We lost me a minute ago because of the storm. Now we lost Pat. It's just me now. The world is dark. Oh, he's come back. He's returned. We
So
might
I saw
need to
the
wrap
stream
up.
where I saw on the stream where like I got kicked out somehow.
Yeah, we
Um,
might need to wrap up if the stream's gonna keep almost dying.
Basically what I was saying is that like it's ridiculous to me to like how trends get started nowadays, because it's all about like whether or not a popular person did it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's things that I thought were cool, and then everyone said it wasn't cool, and then someone popular thought it was cool, and then all of a sudden those people thought it was cool, and it's just like I was doing that already.
Yeah. How did we
But
get to that from the sense of investment in Friends? Speaking
well,
of
we
Friends,
started talking about older. Somebody said boomers,
oh, I think you can't say that
which
word
is a curse
anymore,
word
don't
now.
you know?
It's a curse word now. Yeah.
Speaking of
Stupid
Friends,
tabloid.
did you know that the Japanese dub of Friends, the guy who voices Joey voiced Sanji in One Piece?
So what you're saying is I need to watch Friends in Japanese.
Yes, that's what I'm
sub.
saying. Or you could just watch the Japanese Friends Kamen Rider Forze.
That's not the same.
It's
I'm sorry.
close to the same. It's very simple. It's
There's
very
a lot
similar.
more action. I don't think that it works.
Yeah, it does though. It does. People, it's the exact same thing. The Zodiards kick down a door to steal a student is the same as Joey coming over to take some milk out of the fridge when nobody's looking. It's exactly the same. We should probably move on. FF11 is having an event, which is weird to me. Return Home to Vana'diel. And until November 18th, you can play for free. Sure, I'm not going back, but sure.
Wait, FF11?
Yes, that's the other online Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I was
game.
about to say, isn't that the MMO before FF14?
Yes, it still exists.
God.
It's still going.
Those servers are still up?
Yes. It still has a subscription fee.
No way.
Yes, it still exists.
Hold up. I gotta see this.
Pat, if you look at this and you start playing FF11 when you have a character in my free company with me on 14, I will kick you out of this week's
Trey?
episode of the podcast.
Trey, I don't have the time to
That's
put
fair.
into either one of
That's
these.
fair.
Now, I will say FF11 looks a lot less put together based on the graphics.
It's a lot older. A lot older.
And that's why I wouldn't touch it. It was probably really fun at one time, though.
Yeah, I played it. I do think it is down on consoles or Taka. I think it's PC only now. You can play it.
I want to get on the next online Final Fantasy. And by then, hopefully, when that game comes out, I will not be in school. So I'll actually be able to put some time into it.
Well, the plan is for 14 to go through at least 8.0, and we're in 5.0 right now.
Yeah,
With an
so I'm
expansion
assuming
coming
it's
out
gonna be-
every other year. So if they make another MMO, it probably won't be until 2030, 2032.
You think it'll be that far away?
11 still has events going on, Patrick.
Yeah, but they made FIFA 14.
They're not gonna make
They'll
a
make
third MMO while the other two are still going.
they'll drop Final Fantasy 11 and then they'll make the new
Also,
one.
14's good. Why would you say I'll just wait? Why would you say if 14's still going when I have time, I'll play 14?
I mean, I would love to do that, but I feel so far behind. I want to be able to be
That's
up
okay.
with everything.
Get a skip. Play with us. I'll fill you in on the story you skipped.
I really need to just do that.
Yep.
Stop playing around.
Yep. I got 2 different free companies that I'm a part of.
Hey,
One of
King
which-
said by Call of Duty. Now you have to.
Nope. One of which is like doing raids with us on this channel. So like, I'm just saying, you can be a part of that process. See the near stuff in there. Really good. So from there, we'll go into Google Stadia has announced their launch titles.
I need to see or hear this.
Well, I'm gonna read the list for you. I'm sure you're excited because they specifically stated that they would be having some Stadia exclusives, as well as having, a bunch of other games, and that it was going to be super worthwhile and a great service. So, the list of release games are Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Destiny 2, Just Dance 2020, Kine, Mortal Kombat 11, Red Dead Redemption 2, Thumper, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, and Samurai Showdown.
That's it?
Yeah. And remember, you still have to buy those games to play them on Stadia. So, not a single new game for launch. No exclusives. Hey, Pat, do you remember what one of my biggest problems with Red Dead Redemption 2 was?
Yeah.
It was the moving around and how slow it felt.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that sound like it'd be a great game to play being streamed to the console?
No.
Where it would be even slower and laggier?
See you later, Shadow Fox. No, it sounds
Have a good one, man.
terrible.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
I feel like only 2 games on that list are even somewhat worth it.
So
And that's Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Mortal Kombat 11.
it gets better though, because
No,
they've listed out all the. Oh, it did it again! It did it again! It did it again! It did it again! What is going on with Discord tonight, man? Hold on. Let me try. I'll try this, and then maybe I can move us to Singapore, and that'll fix it. Singapore saved us the other day. Let me try going back to Singapore.
it's Google.
Did Singapore save us, Patrick?
Google doesn't like it.
Google doesn't like it.
Google doesn't like what we've been saying.
How laggy Singapore. Kinda laggy. Kinda laggy, yeah. Can you hear me though,
Try
Pat?
switching it back. I can hear you fine. Try switching back.
Can you switch us back? Because I have to exit the overlay and everything to do it.
Uh,
Okay, hold on. I'll switch us back.
guess what we did last time and it worked.
Podcast technical difficulties. Can you hear me better?
Yeah. That's
Okay.
perfect.
As I was saying, it gets better because they revealed the rest of the games that come out for the end of this year.
I think I saw this list.
None of them are new. None of them are exclusives. The remaining games coming out for this year for Stadia are Attack on Titan 2, Borderlands 3, Darksiders Genesis, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, Farming Simulator 19, Final Fantasy 15, Football Manager 2020, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Grid, Metro Exodus, NBA 2K20, Rage 2, Trials Rising, and Wolfenstein Youngblood.
Yeah, so only 3 games are going to be worth playing potentially.
And again, you still have to buy them all. So that's a thing.
That's so true, King. It's literally just PlayStation Now, but you have to pay for it.
Yep. We lost Pat again. Yeah, I'm sorry, everybody. The storm is apparently just destroying. And, like, my internet seems fine, so I don't even think it's the storm. I think it's Discord tonight. It's got to be Discord, right? Discord's just over here like, no, you can't have a podcast. We're Discord. For what it's worth, we have one more news topic. Just one. We were almost done with the podcast. Discord, if you could have just like held out for like 5 more minutes, maybe 15, we're probably gonna ramble for a little bit. Discord. All I think about is that Discord song. So I mentioned before that like my siblings, like I'm just vamping now while I wait for Pat to come back. My siblings like to, my sisters anyway, like to watch My Little Pony a lot, and there's a Discord song in there about the character Discord, and so it's all I think about when I complain about Discord. You can't see it, but one of my posters, the Sanji poster that's right up there, fell down, and it's on the ground behind me now. I meant to put it back up before the podcast and forgot. I'm gonna try changing regions again, see if that fixes it. Where Pat can join back. This time we'll go US Central and see if that works. If I leave the call and I try calling him, maybe we're gonna give that a shot, see if that works. It's Google. Exactly what you imagine Discord sounds like. Discord. Okay. Pat says go without him, so we're gonna continue on. I'm gonna turn this back on and we're gonna see if we can keep going. There's a lot of lag, but I'm gonna make this smaller until he gets back. I'm gonna fill up the frame here. Discord's being super laggy. And I don't know why, but that's okay. We're just gonna fill out the news for the rest of this week here. So yeah, I 100% think the Google Stadia is gonna crash and burn. I hope that it is at least like fun, but they recommend or they say that it's gonna have predictive technology. It was his last day, Discord, before retirement. They say that it's gonna have predictive technology to predict your inputs before you press the button, which I can't help but imagine is going to be the worst thing ever. Man, I'm so laggy. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm going to try and just wrap this up and end the podcast tonight. The last thing we had, the last bit of news, was the Three Houses DLC has dropped for the expansion pass. If you don't have the pass, you can recruit Anna. Do have the pass. You can recruit one additional new character in one route. I held a finger up, but you can't see it because I'm minimized because of the barrier. Border, that's the word. A bunch of cool new stuff in there. You can pet the animals now and feed them. You can't pet them, I guess, but you can feed them. The animals are all animals owned by the various students, and they have their own individual names, and that's really cool. The spa is there now. I need to finish the current playthrough that I'm on so I can do another playthrough to be able to play around with that new character because that new character seems really cool, and then Anna seems really cool. But yeah, new Three Houses stuff. And then plugs. We always end with plugs, right? I feel like at any moment Discord is just gonna die, and then I'm just gonna be gone. You guys aren't gonna be able to get an end of a podcast, so I'm trying to rush it since Discord doesn't seem to want to work tonight. I would continue to apologize about all the technical difficulties, but I can't help it, and you know they just keep dying. So they just keep giving out. So entire stream is babies. Yeah. So plugs. Make sure the stream's even still up. It says it is. All right, we're gonna believe it. Plugs for the week. What do I want to plug, man? Normally I get to talk to somebody else about plugs and get to bounce off of them and have time to think about what I want to plug, but I'll plug. Oh, I got it. I will plug the Every Frame of Pause podcast. They are doing coverage on Batwoman as well. And if you guys want to see somebody else complain about Batwoman without watching the show, they also have clips of the show that they put in their videos on it. So, you also get to see some of the terribleness while you're at it. But that's my plug.
Hello?
Hey! Chat's not popping up right anymore. I was just trying to ignore it and just get to the end.
I think you missed all the RP in chat. We were role playing my death.
Oh yeah, I
It
missed
hasn't-
all of that. None of it was showing up.
Yeah, it's not loading. Okay, real quick, since I'm actually on the stream now,
Yes.
if you're watching this after on the VOD, go through and read those comments because they're hilarious. We're gonna have a funeral. It's gonna be great.
I now have the YouTube chat up on another monitor just so I can see some of it, and it's something.
Surprise, guys! I'm back from the dead.
Yeah, welcome back. I'm glad that you made it. Should we do like a thing? Pat, be dead in your chair for me. Oh, that took everything I had, Pat. Welcome back. Welcome back. That was the stupidest thing I've done today. But yeah, if
Thanks,
you want to
Discord.
see, it's also way less laggy now for some reason. I guess because I was in a call by myself, it was just lagging out.
Maybe.
Oh, chat's slowly catching up now on stream.
Yeah.
So if you want to see other people also confused by Batwoman, watch the Every Frame of Pause guys, the EFAP guys. It's real good. I always watch the episodes so I can, because they talk throughout it. Like, I'm not gonna judge my reactions based on that, but I watch the episode. Yeah, you gotta stop. You kill me. I watch the episodes, then I go back and watch their reactions to it. It's no secret I work in a church. I just love King's Comment. Trey learned that trick in church. Oh.
I have a plug too. Whenever you get done.
Yeah, by all means. And it's in lightning.
So I'm gonna plug. It's not necessarily. Well, I mean, he has a YouTube channel too. I'm gonna plug. It's Run JD Run, the guy that
Yeah.
one of, I've plugged before. His father recently passed away. John Witherspoon, one of the more influential actors in my childhood because I watched a lot of shows and movies that he was in.
Yeah.
I don't like to get dark about these kind of things, but his death really impacted me a lot. And I've been a big fan of JD's for a while, not even knowing that they were related until one episode on his YouTube channel. He had his dad on, which was really awesome. JD is doing a lot better now. And he even put out a tweet saying that he's going to try to start going back to living his old life
Yeah.
as much as he can without his dad. So even if you don't want to subscribe or follow him on Twitter or anything like that, I know it'd mean a lot to him if you just came to his Twitter or his YouTube and left a note letting him know that you care and that you support him and hope that he does well. It would mean a lot to him. So I'm gonna plug Run JD Run, and even though I've said it on here already, rest in peace, John Witherspoon.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It's a rough situation, but that's my plug.
Absolutely.
Run JD Run.
Coming up on the channel then this week, we will have another soup breakdown. We'll have another job breakdown.
We're not talking about the Terminator. No.
Oh, Dark
Get that
Fate.
out of here.
Dark Fate. Oh, I did watch Dark Fate. Oh,
No.
I did.
We're not talking
I
about it.
watched Dark Fate. It was so bad.
You know who? Oh,
Oh,
I know. We kind of talked about this already, but you know another character that only plays one type of role and just like couldn't play anything else. Arnold Schwarzenegger. He could
that's not
play
true.
any other
That's
type
not
of
true.
role.
Kindergarten
Okay.
Cop. He also
feel like I've
played
seen that movie.
as what's his name's twin brother? In
No,
where
that
they were
movie.
twins?
While that movie was funny with Danny DeVito,
Yeah.
that movie was funny, but he was still destructive in that movie.
Jingle All the
Very
Way,
destructive.
where he's a dad that is just trying to get a present for his son.
I haven't seen that movie.
Should he can play other roles.
The Twins movie with Danny DeVito, he was still very destructive in that movie. While he was like trying to be a funnier character, he was very destructive.
He was. But
That's what I'm saying. He's a very
in
destructive
Kindergarten
action
Cop,
character.
he had to teach children.
Did he blow anything up?
I don't think so. He broke a door at one point.
Okay, that's not enough. Yeah, can we get Danny DeVito hashtag DeVito in chat, please? Respect to my man Danny DeVito. He's one of my favorite actors for no reason. I love Danny DeVito.
Oh, that's right. Arnold Schwarzenegger was Hercules for a little while there.
Oh boy. Hey, you know who was in the cartoon Hercules? Danny DeVito.
That's true. He was. That's true.
And he was great.
It all comes back to
Hashtag DeVito.
It all comes back to Danny DeVito. DeVito devotee. It all comes back to Danny DeVito.
Hashtag DeVito.
I'm gonna plug
Let's
Danny
go.
DeVito.
What a way to end the podcast.
I'm just saying, Detective Pikachu was good, but if Danny DeVito had voiced that Pikachu, it would have been a better movie. That's all I'm saying. Look, kid, we gotta do what we gotta do, okay? We gotta go in there. We gotta do the thing, okay, kid?
I can just see Danny DeVito. Lightning bolt.
Thundershock! I gotta thundershock him!
Oh my gosh.
Oh, now I want
Danny
Danny
DeVito
DeVito.
makes everything better.
I want Danny DeVito in everything. I want Danny DeVito to play Sasuke.
What if Danny DeVito was JoJo?
That'd be really good.
Like animated Danny DeVito. Not
Yes.
even just the voice. Like animated Danny DeVito with the
Yes.
stand and everything.
And his stand was just Robert De Niro for no reason. And he would just, go, Robbie, go get him! I don't know why I always do this for Danny DeVito. It's always like both hands.
Danny DeVito.
Oh, I want Danny DeVito
Oh
to play
my
Sasuke.
gosh.
And then he's like, Naruto, you don't understand. They killed my whole family. I got the Sharingan.
What if Danny DeVito was Mario, like in a Mario live action movie?
Give back the princess. Give them it back to me. Give back your Bowser. Like he's really bad at being Italian, even though he is Italian.
What else could he be in? What if Papa Sean was Danny DeVito?
We gotta find the Sultana. We gotta rescue her. She's around here somewhere. Oh man.
Good old Danny DeVito.
You know,
That's what this podcast has become, the Danny DeVito podcast.
20 minutes ago, it was just me looking at a camera, and I thought this podcast was on fire. And now here we are.
It's
DeVito
actually on fire.
devotees.
Superman.
You don't understand, Diana. Parkit's heart just stopped. I gotta go back and get him.
I am the hero the city deserves.
Lois, I'm telling you, I don't have time for dinner tonight. I gotta go. What if Danny DeVito was the fire? And the firefighters like kick the door in and they're like, we gotta put this fire out. And the fire goes, hey, get back away from me. I'm just trying to eat here.
Danny DeVito is Ash Ketchum.
I choose you, Butterfree. Butterfree, what do you mean you want to go and be with that girl, Butterfree?
They make a cigarette Pokemon just for him.
Oh, man. There might be a cigarette Pokemon in Sword and Shield. We don't know
It's
yet.
the best thing anyone has ever streamed. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you like this band.
Danny DeVito voicing Solid Snake. Metal Gear. But Danny DeVito is slowly turning into just a Brooklyn accent.
Look, Danny DeVito is everything.
That's true.
Danny DeVito is love. Danny DeVito is life.
That's true. That's the title is. The title of this podcast has to be #DeVito devotee. Oh man!
Oh my god!
Oh, Danny DeVito is Solid Snake, and Arnold Schwarzenegger is Liquid Snake. Brother, you must fight me on top of this Metal Gear.
Get to the chopper now!
Pat, you need to play Metal Gear. It's really good.
Yeah, we've been talking about making that happen.
Yeah, it needs to happen. We gotta play more Fire Emblem too.
What if Danny DeVito was gone?
Rock, paper, scissors. Killua, get back here. I thought you were gonna
he
say
could probably be Joey.
Yeah, he could. I thought you were gonna say, what if Danny DeVito was Roy?
Oh boy.
Marcus, go get him.
He wouldn't have to move very much. It fit his
true.
character.
That's true. Oh man, it was Joey. It's the same accent. He's great.
Yeah.
Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon.
We didn't know it, but Danny DeVito voiced the dubbed version of Joey.
Yeah. Kunai with chain.
Go look it up. Go look it up right now. It's gonna say Danny DeVito, and if it doesn't, it's a lie.
I was drinking the cereal and then he hit the brakes and I didn't know what happened and my cereal was everywhere and we had a car accident and then there was this giant dragon.
That show could have been so great, and as a kid, it was great.
Yeah.
It's so many mistakes. Can't
Also-
be my stand, trash man.
Danny DeVito, by the way, is like really good.
Danny is Dio.
How many breads have you eaten in your life, JoJo? No, you gotta remember, Dios is Muda. So it would be Danny DeVito going, Muda, 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 Muda.
Oh man.
We need to stop this. People are gonna check out this podcast and they're gonna be like, these guys had some really good points. And then like the last 20 minutes of the podcast, like, what happened? Did they take drugs when the screen went clear?
You're gonna have to put a timestamp, otherwise people aren't gonna see this because they're gonna get to the depressing part about me talking about with Mr. Witherspoon's death, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, I gotta stop watching this." But if you put a timestamp that's just like super secret surprise at the end, and then name the title #DeVito devotee.
Oh man,
Danny DeVito joins the
DeVito
party.
is my drug. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, there won't be any more Danny DeVito in this week's content, but there'll be some Fire Emblem as there was today. There'll be some more job breakdowns. There'll be some more suit breakdowns. There'll be my first impressions of Valfaris, and Oh, I didn't like that game, as well as probably Death Stranding at some point. But Pat, you got anything else
No.
before Discord or Danny DeVito kills us, whichever one happens first?
No, see, Google likes Danny DeVito. We
Yeah,
started talking about
apparently.
Danny DeVito, and Discord was like, "We got to let it happen."
We say
And then Google was
Beyblade,
like, "We can't
the
stop
stream
talking."
dies. We say DeVito, the stream survives. What would Danny DeVito be like as Abdul? Yes, I am. I'm just imagining a DeVito with Polnareff's hair and a DeVito with Kekioid's hair doing the handshake.
I just see him with this bald head, and his glasses, and he's wearing some like really nasty brown polo.
Silver Chariot. High Yarrow Fanta Green.
I feel like Danny DeVito could literally be any character that's trying to sell you something on a like walk by market. Just standing by a fruit stand.
Hey,
Like,
kid, get over here. Look at what I got. Have you seen it? Take a look at this, kid, come on.
I got apples.
DeVito Beyblade. Go for it, Dragoon. No one can deflect the emerald splash. Oh, why did he go country at the end there? We gotta stop.
I'm just saying, Danny DeVito could be anything, and I'd watch it.
Andrew's gonna look at this podcast later, and he's gonna be like, "What are they doing?" He can't ever leave again. We just devolve into DeVito.
Tune in next week when Danny DeVito is your next favorite anime star.
You know how we have pictures of Char that come up sometimes, or pictures of Lubu? Next week we're just gonna have a picture of Danny DeVito.
We should. Danny DeVito's got to be on the podcast next week.
Can you imagine if we could actually get him on the podcast, though? We could interview
I
Danny
would
DeVito.
cry. I would cry.
It'd be insane, right?
I'd fanboy so hard. I'd be
Oh,
like, I'm your
man.
biggest fan.
Like, Mr. DeVito, please. And he'd be like, call me Danny, Patrick.
That's when I'd cry right
Yep.
there.
Yep.
I wouldn't be able to ask any questions. He'd be like, what's up with this kid? Why is he crying? Is he crying?
Mr. DeVito, he really likes your work. I said call me Danny.
Danny DeVito was Char.
Blame this on the misfortune of your birth. Oh, all right, we gotta stop this. Until next time, I have been Trey.
And I'm Danny DeVito.
You wish. And we've been the Full Spectrum. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that DeVito has to offer.
Woo!
Later, everybody.